My name is Omar Travis, and I lost my right to vote because I committed a crime. The crime that I committed was receiving stolen property.
Mississippi leads the nation in incarceration. It's one of a handful of states which continues to take voting rights away from individuals with felony convictions right now.
It's important for me to have the ability to vote simply because I want my voice to be heard.
My name is Nsombi Lambright-Haynes, and I am the Executive Director of OneVoice.
Nsombi is one of those shining figures that are fighting for those who are incarcerated.
She's a blessing to the city of Jackson, to the state of Mississippi.
I was born and raised in Jackson. My parents met in college at an HBCU called Tougaloo College. I also attended Tougaloo College, and I have dedicated my life to social service and social justice.
It was very surprising when I learned that I had lost my right to vote, simply is because when I pled for the charge, I had no idea that the charge was going to take away my right to vote.
Omar has never spent a day in jail and has finished all of his parole and probation, and yet lawmakers look at his certificate of completion for parole and says, well, it probably hasn't been enough time. Omar is a very good friend of mine.
I've known Nsombi since high school.
And I was talking to him about this work, and he said, hey, I think you may be able to help me.
And just was really trying to push me to not only get my right to vote back, but she's given me the ability to be able to learn that I have the right to speak and to also ignite a speech in others.
And so ever since then, we've been trying to get his voting rights back. Initially, we had 10 crimes in our state's constitution that took voting rights away, and theft was one of them. At that time, our then Attorney General decided to expand the definition of theft, which increased the number of crimes to over 20, and that added the shoplifting, the bad check writing, the carjacking. It then became personal to me because those are crimes that affect a lot of the people that I know.
It's kind of depressing when your wife goes to the polls and you can't go with her. You can't cast your ballot as well.
We've been trying to get his voting rights back. And so we've tried 3 times so far, and every time they've turned him down.
Sometimes you just get to the point to where you think, is this even worth it? Is this even worth it? And I think that a lot of men and women fall in that category.
He's going to continue to try to go through the legislative process. And we're also hoping for a federal fix. The John Lewis Act would have helped Omar to get his voting rights back.
My faith has kept me and helped me to overcome those different obstacles.
We've always said that this movement is going to have to be led by impacted people.
When you have voters who are uninformed, disinformed, and also unmotivated, you create a storm of those who can come in there and actually change the landscape of your state almost overnight.
We believe that if this law didn't exist, we could change some elections in Mississippi.
For a while, I thought about leaving Mississippi because there are different states where you do have the right to vote back, but this is my home. And so I don't want to leave in order to attain something, but I want to fight in order to attain something.
For the individuals who are trying to get their voting rights back, they're the best advocates for themselves. And even though our legislature does not want to hear from them, we make sure that we create a space for them to speak and that we create those opportunities for them to speak to their lawmakers about why they should have their voting rights back and should have never lost them in the first place.
You can get stuck in this mentality that simply because you don't have the right to vote, that you don't even have the right to speak. but she's given me the ability to be able to learn that I have the right to speak.
He has done everything right. He's an upstanding citizen who works hard every day for his family, and he deserves his voting rights back, and I'm just not gonna stop until he gets them.
When I tell you there's no other individual that I can think of as solid as she is, it's Nsombi Lambright.
We are able to use OneVoice as a research hub, and she's been instrumental along that.
OneVoice will continue to be that fighter for justice in Mississippi, and people can help us by writing our lawmakers, writing our congressional leaders, and telling them how ridiculous this law is, and helping them to understand that if Mississippi doesn't move forward, then the rest of the nation will not move forward. And this is one of those things that continues to hold us back.